Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. USD CAD Weekly Forecast Decision Avoidance. http ntvforex.com News ID ED37B5 7/12/2020 11:14:10 p.m. IV PMI in June registers its best score in 20 months. Employment change in June much stronger than expected. March and April loss of 3 million jobs 41.4% replaced in May and June. Canada's economy is making a faster recovery from its pandemic shutdown than economists had anticipated, with companies rehiring almost half their furloughed workers and with business outlook at its best level in over a year and a half. The IV Purchasing Managers Index jumped back into expansion after 3 negative months and its lowest ever score of 23.6 in April, with a rollicking 62.9 in June, its highest reading since October 2018. National payrolls soared 952,900 in June, far more than the 700,000 forecast, and when added to May's 289,600, the 1.242 million total is 41.4% of the 3 million jobs lost in March and April. The home construction industry also rebounded to 211,700, its best annualized rate since January. The USD CAD continued its month-long bout of range trading, with the 4-week movement limited to 1.3500-1.3700 and the July action to an even narrower band of 1.3500-13,600. Currencies have been trapped for weeks between the safety trade higher dollar, risk off from rising COVID cases, positive tests in the US, though with only small increases in hospitalizations and fatalities, and the attendant fear of reimposed business closures, and the risk on lower dollar motivation of the rapidly improving US and Canadian economies. The danger from the rising number of positive tests, both symptomatic and asymptomatic, is not yet clear, as the availability of hospital beds and intensive care units are not threatened, and the fatality rate has stayed remarkably low considering the large rise in positive tests. As the disease normally takes several weeks to produce a fatality, the next 2 weeks should begin to provide conclusive evidence if the current outbreak will strain the healthcare systems in the various states affected. If it does, governors may be forced to order a second round of business shutdowns with all the accompanying economic damage. If it does not, then the recovery should continue apace. USD CAD outlook. The constricted range trading of the last month will likely continue for a few more weeks as markets assess the economic danger from the current COVID outbreak. Equities have continued to move higher as improving economic statistics have been bolstered by positive results from COVID tests of 2 potential treatments, remdesivir and hydroxychloroquine. Bonds have remained resistant to better news, with the U.S. 10-year Treasury yield of 0.643% and the 2-year at 0.157%, both near their pandemic low, though the weakness in interest return has not an appreciable impact on the dollar. Canada statistics July 6, July 10. Tuesday. The IV PMI for June was 62.9, far ahead of May's 42.1 score and the first expansion reading in 4 months. Thursday. The leading index was 0.95% in June, and May was revised to 0.89% from 0.87%, both are the highest scores in the 64-year history of the series. Friday. Employment change added 952,900 jobs in June, far more than the 700,000 forecast. Average hourly wage gains dropped to 6.8% from 9.96% in June as people returned to work. The unemployment rate dropped to 12.3%, missing the 12% estimate from 13.7% in May. Full-time employment rose 488,100 in June from 219,400 in May, and part-time rose 464,800 from 70,300 in May. The participation rate climbed to 63.8% from 61.4%. NTVForex.US statistics July 6, July 10. Monday. The Service Sector Purchasing Managers Index from the Institute for Supply Management unexpectedly jumped to 57.1 in June from 45.4 in May, well beyond the 50.1 forecast. The New Orders Index rose a record 19.7 points to 6.16 from 41.9, leaving the forecast of 44 far behind. The Prices Paid Index reached 62.4 from 55.6 in April. Only the employment index at 43.1 failed to reach expansion from 31.8 in May, though it did surpass the 30.7 projection. Wednesday. Consumer credit contracted by $18.28 billion in May following April's record $70.19 drop. Thursday. Initial jobless claims dropped to 1.314 million in the July third week from 1.413 prior. Continuing claims fell to 18.062 million from 18.76 million. Friday. PPI fell 0.2% on the month and 0.8% on the year in June. Core PPI dropped 0.3% and rose 0.1% respectively. Canada Statistics July 13, July 17. NTV4X. Statistics July 13, July 17. NTV4X. USD CAD Technical Outlook. The relative strength index is just below neutral as the USD CAD is near the midpoint of its 1-month range. The moving averages have divided, with the 100-day far above the market at 1.3833. The 21-day at the market at 1.3585 and the 200-day at 1.3505 offering additional support. Resistance 1.3630, 1.3700, 1.3800, 1.38801. 3950. Support 1.3540, 1.3500, 1.3440, 1.3320. USD CAD Sentiment Poll. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching.